welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ballarat Football Netball League Youth Girls Footy Show, our special Grand Final Day edition. Today, of course, is Grand Final Day for the Youth Girls competition for season 2016, the sixth year of the Youth Girls competition. Just keeps growing from strength to strength every year. Shaun Kelly's my name. Joining me in the co-host chair, three-time BFNL Youth Girls Best and Fairest winner, Amy McDonald. Amy, welcome to the Youth Girls Footy Show.
Thank you, it's a pleasure to be here.
How's your season been? Obviously, we know, we've spoken to you earlier in the season, that you haven't actually played too much at Youth Girls Footy this year. Did a knee in the Rebels Carnival earlier on in the year. Haven't played for Redan this year. How's everything going? How's the knee coming along?
Knee's coming along well. It's pretty much back at 100%, I'd say. Still has its niggles, but as good as it can be, I guess.
You're able to get out on the netball court, of course, this year for Redan as well, so that would have scratched a bit of an itch where you weren't able to play some sport.
Yes, made me feel a lot better.
Well, good to see you on the comeback trail. We'll talk more later on in the show about what's next for you football-wise as well, because it's a very exciting time, as we know, in the women's football space, especially in the senior women's football space, which we saw recently with the exhibition game between the Western Bulldogs and Melbourne, getting over 6,000 people at the game and over 1 million people watching on TV. But we're here to talk Youth Girls Footy, Amy, and we're going to start it off with a quick recap of the Best and Fairest night held recently at the Ballarat District Trotting Club. Kind of a weird night for you, the first night in about 4 years where you haven't actually won the Best and Fairest. You were there as an observer. How did you find the night, I suppose, now where you could just basically sit back and watch it from a casual night, I suppose?
Well, it was very enjoyable from that perspective, not having to worry about votes or anything and just sit back and take note of who did go well and just see the night out, I guess. Ellie
Blackburn, our guest speaker on the night as well. Fantastic game she played last week for the Western Bulldogs in her first game for the Bulldogs after playing with Melbourne throughout the exhibition series, and a really good ambassador for the women's game.
Yeah, she is. She spoke actually really well up there, and it was really inspiring for all the girls in the room who, never thought football was a pathway, that they can actually follow it now, and there is a career down that way.
And of course, Shiloh Curtis on the panel, our Women in Football panel on the night as well. Interesting news kept breaking recently with Shiloh Curtis actually moving on from AFL Victoria in her role as, obviously, Women's Football Coordinator. So that'll be some big shoes to fill.
Very big shoes to fill, but it's a well-deserved rest. Like, she's done so much for the game, it wouldn't be where it is today without her. So yeah, she definitely deserves to have some time off and see something else, I guess. Yeah,
100% agree with that one. The Best and Fairest count itself went into the final round this year. Lucy Garner from North Ballarat in her first year of footy, a well-deserved winner of the Youth Girls Best and Fairest award. Have you seen Lucy play? How does she go?
I've seen her play once, which was a little while ago now, but she's just hard at the ball. She's pretty much wherever the ball is, she is. So it's hard not to see her on the field, I guess.
And of course, Lauren Butler from the FNL Lions, the runner-up on the night as well. She is a star in the making. A lot of people are saying she's the next Amy McDonald, which is, I suppose, a compliment in many, many ways. But she had a great year, missed a few games with injury towards the end, though. I think her first 5 games, she was on 15 votes after the first 5 games or something.
Yeah, she got 5 best ons straight away and looked like she was definitely going to take it to the end, but unfortunately got pipped on the line.
Yeah, really good night at the Bray Raceway this year. Over 400 people in attendance on the night too, Amy. It was our biggest Youth Girls night ever, and just a really, really good night.
It was, and saying that, like 400 people, it's just amazing to see how far it's come from back 6 years ago when there was 4 teams, and now it's just grown so much and come so far.
Wait until next year when it's a women's night, the open women's involved as well, and the under 12s night. It is going to be huge. But let's talk about what's going to happen tonight on Youth Girls Grand Final night at Wendouree Reserve this year, obviously being played under lights, and the under 12s in action early doors in the game as well, starting at 5 p.m. You'll have the minor final between East Point and the FNL Lions, and the major final between Redan and Lake Wendouree. Really good concept, the under 12 girls getting off the ground this year, and is really growing legs, and hopefully we're looking at it being a proper competition next year.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it just shows when I was under 12s, I did not have that opportunity, and the fact that they do, it can just give them that pathway up until AFL pretty much.
But let's have a look at the main game this week, the Youth Girls Grand Final tonight, starting at 6:30 p.m. at Wendouree Reserve. There's an old favourite in there, and a team that we haven't seen on this stage before, Redan taking on the Ararat Storm. It's almost just it's almost like a passage at Redan, isn't it? You play at Redan and you're playing grand finals every year. I think you've won a couple. Unfortunately, you lost last year.
Yeah.
Chance for redemption this year against the Ararat Storm, who their first grand final in the Youth Girls competition, of course. I think only their third or fourth season in the competition as well. They've done a fantastic job to get to the big game tonight. Who starts favourites in this game? Obviously, taking your Redan hat off, I suppose.
I guess that's a tough one because throughout the season they've both beaten each other. They both have, Redan they've played in the grand final before, so they know what it's like. But on the other hand, Ararat haven't been there. They want to win because they haven't experienced the feeling of winning a premiership. So I don't know. I don't know if there is much of a favourite at this point.
Will the fact that Redan lost the grand final last year resonate with a few of the girls that played? People like Jess Bockmer, who had another fantastic season in front of goal, but grand final day didn't get near it. She didn't want to move up the ground and get the ball or anything like that, where it could have been a difference. Do you reckon that'll resonate and she'll play a bit of a different game this year?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think the team this year is a bit different in how they've played. Like, I know a couple of weeks ago Jess was in the back line. So it'll just
She wouldn't
depend.
have liked that.
Oh no, she didn't mind it. She actually did all right. It'll depend on the situation and how the game's flowing as to how they'll play. But I think the fact that they have lost and haven't been able to get over the line in the past will help them this year.
And the Ararat Storm, you've had a good look at them throughout the year as well. What's their real strength on the field?
They have a lot of girls who have come through like the Rebels program and that, and they've just learnt so much, and pretty much they've just taken the time it's needed to grow. And I think a lot of people weren't expecting them to be in the grand final, so I think it's a real,
They can almost go out and play with nothing to lose in that regard then, because obviously if people aren't expecting them to get there, they're kind of expecting Redan to win. The Storm can just go out and play their game and not really worry about consequences in many ways.
Yeah, exactly. If they lose, well, it's been an amazing effort to get there, and if they win, that's just one better. They don't really have that doubt in their mind that, you know, if I lose, it'll be talked about or things like that.
Yep. Your tip for this game? Putting you on the spot a little bit here.
I don't know. I don't know if I can comment on that one.
Sure. Interesting. So you're not quite that confident that Redan will get over the line?
Honestly, it could go either way. If the girls played like they did last week against Lakers, they can get over the line, but at the same time, Ararat have beaten them, they've beaten Ararat, so it'll just depend on who wants it more, I think.
Well, if you want to find out the tip for tonight, get down to the Wendouree Reserve yourself. As we said, 5 o'clock for the under-12 game, 6:30 for the Youth Girls Grand Final. It's going to be a great night of women's football in Ballarat, coming off the back, obviously, of the VWFL Goldfields Division Senior Grand Final a few weeks ago as well. And as we said, the excitement around the AFL women's game the other week. It's a great time to be playing girls football. 2017 though, it's not far away now. We start to plan for next year. What does 2017 involve for Amy McDonald? Your first year where you won't be Youth Girls eligible, so if you're looking to play footy, you'll have to play in a senior competition. And obviously with the draft coming up as well, have you nominated?
No, I haven't nominated this year, and I won't. I just don't think I'm ready for it. With my knee and a bit of fitness, I've been out for so long. I think I'm better to have another 12 months.
Yep.
And then potentially look at that.
So looking at playing football again next year, senior football at Redan, or looking somewhere else, going maybe Premier Division?
I'm still not quite sure. Redan's one option here in Ballarat, or also travelling down to Melbourne for trainings and games to, go to that better level.
Oh, whatever you do with it, we wish you all the best of luck, Amy. We thank you for joining us today on the Youth Girls Footy Show, previewing tonight's grand final. Are you going down yourself?
If I can get out of work early, I'll be there.
You only work around the corner, so it's not too far away as well. And thank you for joining us today on the Youth Girls Footy Show. Looking forward to seeing you at the Wendouree Reserve tonight for the Youth Girls Grand Final. We'll see you there.